Hello people of YouTube, Mishka Valhalla here, still in lovely Juneau, Alaska. As you can see, a world dominated by the Earth. What sky? So today I wanted to talk about, excuse that plane. It's a typical Alaska plane, seaplane, or whatever you call them. Alright, so today I wanted to talk about the Rune Thurz, or Thurz. See, this is a rune that a lot of people are afraid to look at or work with, because it is a very chaotic rune, a very primal rune, but that's what makes it just as important and just as fascinating as any of the other runes, because Thurz not only represents the god Thor, but if it's reversed, it can represent the Jotuns, and the Jotuns, many of them being the enemy of Thor who protects Midgard. The idea is that, you know, not all Jotuns are, I guess you could say, problematic, but there are a ton of them that are essentially, you know, lower rank, that constantly attack Midgard, that constantly invade, and they show up as natural disasters. And that's what Thurz represents. Natural disasters, explosive events, epic conflict, you know, of great proportion. But if it's right side up, it's basically telling you to be aware of those conflicts. And, you know, these explosive events that are just gonna seemingly come out of nowhere. But that's of course why you cast the runes. But if you have a second sight and you don't need the runes, by all means use that. Or if of course you use tarot cards, which are pretty cool, or like seashells or bones, or, you know, whatever. I personally use bones for runes. I work with bones the best, as well as you know, like raw stone. The stones you see here are like the stone you find on the ground. You know, I'm not really into, you know, like exotic stones as much, but I also really connect to wood, wooden runes. But I'd have to say bones are probably my best. But Thurz, anyway, people call it the thorn in your side. You know, essentially, if it's a problem, that's the idea. You know, the idea is to, like, you know, not have the problem hit you as hard as it would if you weren't aware of it. The idea is to be aware of the trials of life so that you're more prepared when they hit you. I know we won't be able to predict everything, but it's always good to stay clairvoyant, to essentially trust our intuition. And that's what Thurz is a lot about. It's about looking forward, being watchful, like the god Heimdall, who stands in Asgard watching, you know, protecting the realm of the Aesir. But, you know, Thurz itself, you know, is a very powerful rune when it comes to, you know, greater strength, you know, greater primal strength, sort of like this old chaotic energy, you know, within the world around us, and even within human beings and animals. You know, humans, of course, being animals as well. And I do want to make more videos about animism and my thoughts on animism, because it's essentially a really core, you know, principle to heathenry, you know, from what we can find and what we know. You know, in archaeology and in the sources, there are gods of many different animals mentioned. You know, foremost of the hounds, foremost of the falcons, foremost of the bears, you know. They name them, like, almost all of them, I think, in the Poetic Edda. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff under our noses that, you know, we're missing out on. But yeah, Thurz, it's a very powerful rune. You know, don't take it lightly. You know, use it when you really, really need it. But don't be afraid of it. That's the whole thing. You know, if you have fear in your heart and you let it get to you, that's how things can get to you. You know, like, I know we're not always going to be strong, we're not always going to be prepared, but the whole principle of Thurz is to do our best to be prepared, just like Thor. You know, when he protects Midgard, the middle wall. You know, this realm, as heathens see it, is protected by the wall. Excuse me, fucking voice crack. The wall around Midgard, meaning our realm, you know, at the center of the world tree. Hell being at the bottom, and of course Asgard being at the top. But yeah, I mean, obviously we're gonna get more deep into all that fun stuff in future videos, but that's pretty much what I wanted to touch up on the Rune Thurz. But if I have any room on my phone, I will definitely show you some more nature as I walk. My beautiful dog, name's Lexi, childhood dog. Yeah, I knew her in high school, and I think the end of middle school, not sure, but she's an old girl.